All right, so I was just listening to a story about the book of Judges, and when the angels came to see, well, I guess when they came to visit, and the men wanted to have sex with the angels, and Lot, I think it was, said, "Hey, don't do this. I'll give you my daughter and my concubine. You can do what you want with her." So he gave him a concubine, and the men took the concubine and they did whatever to her all night. And then, after they committed adultery and abused her, whatever, she crawled back. And then when he came out, to go do his daily, chores or whatever, he saw her and he said, "Get up." She didn't answer. She was dead. Then he took her, brought her in the house. He chopped her up into 12 pieces, and then he spread her throughout the 12 tribes. And when he spread it throughout each a part of her body throughout the 12 tribes, the men, the 12 tribes of Israel, all, got upset because they knew that this girl was, done wrong by the Benjamites. So they went and attacked the Benjamites, and they reduced their number all the way down to 600 men. So they killed them. They killed the men, women, and children, all the way down to 600 of them. And then they said, "Well, wait a minute, we need to stop because there's only 600 of them, but we need them to, still be, be able to procreate." So then they went and killed another tribe and brought them 400 wives. But they didn't kill them off totally, but they killed a bunch of their men and they captured their wives and said, here's 400 wives, but there were 200 men who didn't have wives. So they said, "Well, we can't give you our daughters. However, there's going to be this party, and if you show up at this party, and our daughters are there, you can take them. There won't be no retaliation." So they came and kidnapped the daughters, and then they went off and, rebuilt their cities and, so on and so forth. And it made me think, wasn't Paul a Benjamite? Paul said, "I wish you were all like me." He said, if you need to have sex, it's better to marry than to burn. And I might be stretching here for a minute, but, when he said that, he was basically saying, "I wish you were all like me. I wish you all didn't desire a wife." And Paul went on without being married or anything. And as you know, he was a Benjamite, but he was also a Roman citizen. He's also a black man. And basically, it made me think the life that Paul had was very sacrificial after he got called by Christ, who called him directly, on the road to Damascus. He was like, "Why are you persecuting me?" And he said, "Who are you, Lord?" He's like, "I'm Jesus Christ, you're persecuting." And then he got the scale on his eyes, and all of his men heard. You got to understand, everybody was afraid of Paul because he was persecuting Christians. He come from a warrior class. This was not a weak man. So then he lived this whole life of being a sacrifice, and it made me think that the reason why God put that on him is because of the woman. God made Paul a Christ. Not as in Jesus Christ, but a Christ, a sacrificial lamb. That's what a Christ is. A Christ is not a God. A Christ is a sacrificial lamb. And I think he did that to atone for the sins of the Benjamites. I don't know, I could be reaching, but some of you scholars can help me out with that. I could be wrong, and I don't mind being wrong, but it just made me think. And I'm thinking that Paul's direct descendants, like his direct bloodline, was probably one of the men who did that girl dirty. I could be wrong, but I don't know, just something to think about.